Fishing is one of the biggest mini-games in video gaming history. Just mindless enough to be a background activity to a voice call or a video without taking too little space to be fun on its own. But what if the mini-game was the game? Webfishing is a game that came out in early October of 2024, published by a solo dev named Lame Developer. Obviously, the main point of the game is to fish on the web, with 77 different fish to catch in different types of water and weather conditions, all having little quips to say when you catch them. Think of Animal Crossing. But how do you actually catch these fish? Well, first you'd need a rod. Luckily, you don't have to go searching for it, you get it for free, plus some worms to use as bait. After selecting the worms in a bait menu, all you need to do is throw your line into the water and wait. Once a fish is hooked, you get into a button mashing game. Goal is to get your green bar to the end, bashing through walls by mashing the left click, before a red bar catches up to your bar. But, while that is the main point of the game, it's far from the only attraction. Sell your fish for money that can be used to buy anything, really. Clothing to customize your avatar, upgrades for your rod, lures to catch new types of fish, and even instruments and gambling. With that, I want to shift the focus a bit onto why this game is so important to me. Interactivity is the name of the game in web fishing. While there may not be a coherent game story or narrative to tell, the players are front and center. Multiplayer lobbies can go up to 12 players by default, with more slots available, so making connections is a big plot point for the success of this game. It serves more as a chat room than a game in the traditional sense by allowing players to interact with both the mechanics and each other. While there is no voice chat in the game yet, the chat box in the bottom corner lets people hang out and chat while they fish. You can also buy wine from the vending machine, in which case your text will get all gummed up and drunken when you send them. If interacting with others doesn't suit you, you can still have plenty of fun in the game. Single-player lobbies are available to you as well, to chill out, put some royalty-free music on the boombox, and have a nice, relaxing day out on the pier. Hell, if fishing doesn't even sound that fun to you, you don't have to. Buy a metal detector from the shop and go rummaging through dirt for treasure. Find a hidden storefront and gamble away your life savings. Grab some chalk and draw anything and everything on the ground. If none of that sounds appealing, not much point in playing games, is there? Through the interactive methods put to you by this game, you can find a ton of new friends that you wouldn't in a normal competitive game like Overwatch. Webfishing is also brand new by most games' standards, as well as an indie game with a culture developing rapidly that's far more accepting of weird and freaky people than most games I've ever seen in my career as a gamer. And this game hits closer to home as someone in the queer community because of just how many interactions this game has that are, well, accepting. Half of the hats and shirts you can choose from have little, like, gay, like, agenda almost jokes on them. Um, so hate has really no home in web fishing. It's because of how new and volatile this game is that I believe reviewing it now is important. Publicity is how games get larger, and with indie game titles especially, it can be detrimental if a game isn't lifted off the ground soon enough. I want to see web fishing succeed and maintain a healthy atmosphere, and there are already attempts to dissuade people from getting the game. Hackers have been targeting lobbies and doxing their accounts, often going after queer folk as a hate campaign of sorts. Bringing more attention to this game and how welcoming it is despite the hackers, as well as just how fun all the little mini-games are, can help people flock to this game and overwhelm any haters with their own enjoyment. Furthermore, there's just so much to do in this game that it would take hours upon hours for people to get truly bored of it. I've already got like 24 hours in the game, and I haven't played in a little bit just because of finals and personal life issues. But in 2 weeks, getting 24 hours in a game, like most of my friends ended up doing when this game first came out in October, is unheard of for some indie game titles, especially for a game that's barely even like a traditional narrative game. I truly believe we need a lot more games like web fishing, where gaming can take a backseat to interacting with other people. I believe that competitive games like Overwatch, Marvel Rivals that just came out a few days ago, I think yesterday actually, have really driven a wedge in how gamers talk to each other. It's become a lot harsher to be into video games because there's always going to be someone who doesn't like you because you were on the other team instead of theirs. Web fishing doesn't have teams. Um, People can actually find common ground sitting around watching some dog play guitar um, for hours on end, catching fish the size of your pinky, and then a whale the size of the entire map, which is a real thing, by the way. It's vital that chat room games such as web fishing remain a part of the internet, even in a small capacity. And I think web fishing is a beautiful gateway into that world where you can absolutely take web fishing, all of its interactivity and different mini games to choose from, and attach a different mini game onto it. Instead of fishing, let's make a sequel with washing clothes, building tycoon games like the old Roblox games you used to play in 2013. There's just so much there that draws from both nostalgia of old, like, non-competitive chat room games and the future of acceptance and, like, modern memes and all of that web fishing just does so well that I think way more people should get a chance to look at and interact with. I know I went off script there at the end, and I still kind of am, but just to close everything out, web fishing is maybe the pinnacle of modern interactivity in small indie dev titles. Less in the narrative story sense, with very little story attached, if any at all, um, and more in the sense of cultural interactivity, building bridges between people. Everyone has their little niche in this game. So, if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 100, maybe, me personally, I would give it around a 90, maybe even a 95. The only reason I don't want to give it a perfect score is because of this hacking situation going on right now as of making this video, and that, well, I don't think the narrative story is important, it would still be nice, in my personal opinion, if it had something. Maybe like a little tidbit of not so much story, but lore to go off of. There are interesting characters in the game, but they don't really have names or stories to them that you can connect with. But yeah, to wrap it all up, that's my review. Hopefully, this video can help some people get into a new game and a new community, because I know a lot of gamers aren't too keen on furry gay video games. But I can personally attest to the quality of this game. See ya.